Unleash the power of knowledge and connect with the heartbeat of the African diaspora. Download our African Diaspora News Channel app now on Google Play and Apple App Store. Stay informed with authentic and diverse perspectives, breaking news, and cultural insights. Immerse yourself in a community that celebrates unity, resilience, and progress. Experience the vibrancy of the diaspora at your fingertips. Don't miss out. Empower your perspective today. Search African Diaspora News Channel and join the conversation.
So a brother who lives in a town called Whitby, which is on the east end of the Greater Toronto area, reached out to me. His name is Sherwin Barnes, and he wanted to share his story of years of anti-Black racism at the hands of his neighbors, as well as lies, false accusations, and his dogs have been seized and face euthanization. Take a look at his story and we'll talk about it further.
My name is Sherwin Barnes, and I'm making this video really as a last resort to see if I can appeal to the powers that be or anyone out there to help me save my two dogs, Kobe and Toby. They're due to be euthanized within 10 days. Those dogs have never bit anyone. But there's a huge backstory here, and I just thought I'd bring it to the forefront. I purchased this property, it was March of 2020. I have a shared driveway, which I share with my neighbor named Sherry Rumanuk. And I guess this was the first incident that I would say happened. What happened, the contractor came. I wasn't at home at the time. My nephew was here to let him in. He parked his vehicle on a shared driveway. I came home, and when I came home, he was just about finished. The neighbor came home just prior to me arriving, and I guess she was upset that the vehicle was on the shared driveway. He had left a note on his vehicle, and he had left his number on that note, and he had instructed anyone that needed be to do anything on the shared driveway to call him. I tried talking to her, he tried talking to her, but she wasn't really having it. But we didn't think it was anything really, so we moved on. At least that's what we tried to do. 2 days later, I came home and I saw a police business card on my front door. When I saw it, I didn't really think much of it at all, given, as I said, nothing happened that day. I thought maybe something was ongoing in the neighborhood and the police was just trying to reach out to let me know, since I had recently moved in the neighborhood. A few days later, I saw a police cruiser stop at the front, and I saw a police officer got out and he started approaching the shared driveway and walking to the back. So I began walking to the front. We met in the middle of the driveway and he asked me my name. I told him my name. And while we were having a conversation, the neighbor came out and she said she didn't want to press no charges, which was really shocking to me. I was taken back. I had no idea at this point that she had filed a false complaint. And so he told her to go back inside so that he could finish talk to me. And then he detailed to me what her complaint was. She had said that I had threatened to smash her face with a brick, which never happened. And he said that he just felt like he needed to talk to me before he proceeded. Because if, maybe another officer had gotten that report, he probably would have come with a warrant and arrested me. I let him know that, nothing actually happened based on like what she said happened. Then he called her back out and he asked her, if she wanted to proceed with charges, because after talking to me, he asked me what I wanted to do. I said I didn't want to do anything. This is news to me. I was really taken back, like how my life could just be put in jeopardy like that in just a brief moment by someone who I guess was weaponizing the police. She said she didn't want to press no charges, and she went back inside, and then he looked at me and he said, let's take a walk. And I had never seen a police officer so animated before in my life. He got down on his knees and he said, you do not know where you are. I want you to put cameras around your house immediately, which I did. This has really been my only saving grace. The fact that I have cameras to show the facts based of what actually happened as opposed to what, in several situations I'm being accused of doing. Since I purchased this property, the police has attended to my home more than 100 times. I have attained the Freedom of Information Act, and in it, my same neighbor with the shared driveway, Sherry Rumanuk, she's the one that is responsible for about 60% of these false complaints. I I didn't purchase these dogs. These dogs actually is a friend of mine's that had an unfortunate situation. They became homeless and they had nowhere to stay. So they asked me if I could keep the dogs, and the Whitby Animal Service started showing up on my property and for noise complaint and all these different complaints that was being made by the neighbor and other neighbors around. You know, the Whitby Animal Service, they press charges, noise complaint charges, and other charges. I had situations where I would leave the dogs outside and I would come out and there was a neighbor in the back. His name is Mike Waters. His wife, I caught her throwing stones and rocks and hitting the dogs to agitate them. The dogs had run off the property a few times when this happened. Whitby Animal Service come. They had put an order in place for the dogs, and I had tried to appeal the order because I felt like this was mission creep. Given what was happening, again with the police attending my property every day, or 2-3 times a day, the police would park their cruisers in front of my house, sometimes for hours in the night. I wasn't able to appeal the order. I reached out to the person at the city of Whitby. Her name is Kate Novia. I sent her emails, I left her voicemails. They never returned my call, so there is a due process in the order. You have 10 days once the order is put in place to appeal. So I couldn't have the opportunity to appeal that order. That order was what was used eventually so that I could be convicted and these dogs would be, you know, put in a position where they are now to be euthanized. You know, this hasn't stopped. This is ongoing. In fact, my neighbor, Mike Waters, he's been flying a drone over my property in the night. And I told him that if he could just refrain from doing it, I don't think he should be invading my privacy like that. You know what happened last night when I was on my way home? I had the police, the Whitby police, follow me all the way. There was no reason for them to stop me, so they couldn't stop me. This is something they have done in the past. I've had several incidents happen here. Again, the police have showed up here. I was never been charged once. When the police have showed up, the police, along with Whitby Animal Service, they came in my house on December 11th, 2021. That's how long this has been ongoing. When they seized the dogs, filing complaints and, you know, trying to, I guess, entrapment, asking me questions that based on false complaints so that they could get a reason to probably arrest me. I had a neighbor in the back. He has since sold and moved out, was pointing something at me that seemed to be a AR-15, right? And I called the police and they came, they read me the riot act. They told me it's mischief. And if I was to call them again, I would be charged, right? This was after the police had showed up to my house over 100 times and I called once. And the same neighbor who sold, he was responsible for about 40% of the false reports that was I guess, given to the police. This situation has, you know, really left a huge, you know, a huge hole in my heart in terms of how I thought the justice system here would work. But nonetheless, I think I have a duty not just to myself and my kids. I have a duty to everyone that look like me that might find themselves in a situation like this. You know, this has taken a lot of my life and my time and my energy. But for the sake of the dogs, I'm really considering doing it. They don't deserve this. The dogs really don't deserve this. They didn't do anything to anyone. But more importantly, as I said, is for everybody that look like me that might be in a situation like this. We need to speak out. We need people who are strong enough to stand up and speak out. You know, because I want this to end. I just want to be able to come home and do the normal things that anybody that you know, a law-abiding citizen in this society here in Canada should be able to do. But unfortunately, that is not the case. And I stand firm, I stand strong. But in this moment here, I really, you know, I feel powerless. And I hope that there is somebody looking at this that could do something to stop these dogs from being euthanized. And for those who have been doing this, could really be dealt with according to the laws of this country that is supposed to protect each and every one. I pay taxes, yeah. I'm a law-abiding citizen. Supposed to do, right? So that's my message. And I really hope it happens soon. All right, take care. Love you.
I mean, it's clear that he's living in a neighborhood full of anti-Black racist people, and having to share a driveway with one is, I can't even imagine the nightmare. And Unfortunately, some of these homes have shared driveways and you have no choice but to share it. But again, you're in an anti-Black racist area, and this Karen, as you can hear, accused him of smashing her face with a brick, but then turned around and dropped the charges because she knew it was a lie. As he mentions, over 100 calls between Karen and Brad, a gun being pointed at him. Yet when he files a complaint, he's told if he files another complaint, he's the one that's going to get charged. Obviously, this neighborhood is protected and he's not. Now, people are probably wondering, why didn't Sherwin move from there? Well, he's expressed that for two reasons. Number one, the equity in the home. And he spent so much money on legal fees. And then the second reason is right now, the value of his home isn't enough for a down payment for another home or to pay off his mortgage on the home he lives in. And that is very true because right now, the housing situation is so bad that I can see that it would be difficult right now to sell a home. And the home wouldn't be worth what it should be worth. Because again, we have so many issues here in Ontario with housing crisis. It's not even a good idea to sell a home at all right now. As he mentioned, they were throwing rocks at the dogs. The dogs would break out and run away. They accused these dogs of biting people. Sherwin says it's not true, but Animal Service did come and they took these dogs away. He mentions that they're supposed to be euthanized in 10 days. Fortunately, that hasn't happened yet. He is appealing, but he's losing these appeals. And so there were two things that obviously are very important to him, which is, first of all, he wants all of this to stop. All of this anti-Black hate, all of the time and energy he's spending fighting, and then, of course, not getting these dogs put down. So hopefully, this works out for him. And he really just wanted to shed light on what he's going through so that people can see and this can go viral. And hopefully, the right eyes will be on it, like Animal Services and the police, which, by the way, the police officer that advised him to get cameras is a brother. And this brother knows what's going on in that neighborhood, especially towards him. So he was like, get cameras, which Sherwin has done. And hopefully, if this continues, Sherwin will be able to provide evidence of what he's going through. You can be in certain neighborhoods, and if it's dominated by the folks and they don't want you there, they will do everything possible to make your life a living hell. Let me know what you think about this. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share this content. Also, don't forget to download the African Diaspora News app. You can grab it at the Google or Apple store or head over to africandiasporanews.org. Download it there. You definitely want that app. Also, subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Black Experience with Emma Ansah. Until next time, please be safe, everyone.